done. We're live.
Oh my God. And then she said, all the practitioners should be executed by the end of the day. Okay, let's just say, okay, my Windows setup is off. So I've been on, okay, I'm going to say okay a lot today, apparently. I am working straight from my office. I am on week 2 of separation.
And
Church and state.
was your mother right? Was your mother right?
Annoyingly so. And so I actually have not opened up my laptop in 4 days because I come in here and use my computer, but all my windows are thrown off.
Not right. Not right.
Plus, I had to do a shutdown and a reboot this morning.
But the growth, because I've been telling you for how many years that, oh my God,
that I needed to work from my office. It would be good for my mental health.
Okay, so.
Okay, so working from my office.
Which I have told you, but I was I tried very hard not to say, I think that you'll be more successful if you go to the office. But I was right.
I also think, though, if you look at my office in my last house, it was dark.
Yeah, that last house.
Not inviting and nothing. Now I have 2 bright windows. The sun is shining. I need a plant. That's what I'm missing.
Oh, yeah, you should bring a plant.
So I'm not going to bring one. I'm going to order another one.
Oh, Jesus. Well, the other thing is, like, your Idaho house, there was no, like, it was a half wall. And so you really were, like, working in your office. Like, when you work in the office, you could hear everything. So there really wasn't that much difference.
So that one, no, I'm talking about my other Virginia house.
No, and I didn't even go in that office. Dark. Did you have an office?
Yeah, at the very top of the stairs. Remember the weird room?
Oh,
bathroom?
Yeah. That was that was a strange house.
It was not a good house. Yeah.
It was a big house.
I've been coming in here. My laptop hasn't been opened, which I feel
good for you.
I've still been productive and everything. And present. Yes, my boys came and helped me last night put together another table for in here to get stuff done. Yeah. No. So
you get Amazon a lot quicker than I do. It's so frustrating.
God. We Amazoned a lot. I'm waiting for a bat. However, okay, speaking of not getting murdered, let's just say this. When my mom left my house, she left a bat by my front door.
The bat was by the front door to begin with, not for the purpose of knocking someone over the head, but I think that's just where it ended. But did you leave it there?
But I moved it. It's still there. It's moved back. Okay, so you moved it so that I could grab it before I got to the door, because where I had it before, they could swing the door open and knock me out.
Then you wouldn't be able to get to the bat.
I wouldn't be able to get back. Okay, right. Let me tell you guys what bat it is. It's Huey's T-ball bat.
Yeah, it probably wouldn't hurt. I don't know. Like, it might be an irritation, like a hangnail.
Is it on Wreck-It Ralph where they're trying to like attack the guy and he's like, no.
And it's so short. You would have to get so close to them.
I would. That would be bad.
But I almost did think I was having a home invasion when I was there, because 2 guys show up and they didn't ring the doorbell. They like pounded on the door aggressively, like with their fists. And their hoods were up and they had a clipboard. And I'm like, it was almost like the time I took the mints in the Uber.
I think they were going around where a petition went around. So I'm thinking that maybe they were trying to get signatures for the petition.
But you shouldn't pound on the door like you want that.
They need to take lessons from.
I was not as trusting as the Uber mints.
Oh my God.
They were good mints. I didn't get roofied.
No. So
he was an old guy. Old guys don't roofie you anyway, do they?
I think so. I don't think that age discriminates roofing. I don't know. You think?
Did they offer?
You told our exec team today that a child came to help you guys carry up cabinets, and then you're like, oh, it was like your guys' age. And then you're like, I don't know. I don't know how old you are. It's 3 years younger than Britt. Last I checked, I would love to be a child again. Do not get me wrong. However, last time I checked, I was not. full-grown adult. Adult.
I question sometimes.
Do you?
I mean, as you get older, I get it now. Like, as you get older, it's like everyone's just seems really young. The older I get.
I don't feel like I'm okay. When I was 35, I was like, oh yeah, I'm 30 something.
I thought
Just
you were
like
35 now. How old
No,
are
I'm
you?
36. I turned
Oh,
36, and even my TikTok started identifying me as a 40-year-old.
oh, you got
Like,
like a different algorithm.
I now feel like I'm 40. I don't know what
Yeah.
happened. However, I am dead set on being that mom at the pool who can wear a two-piece and so that their kids are embarrassed. That's my new life goal. So Cash can tell me I have to wear more clothes.
What is wrong with you? Like, that would never. I can't even remember. I didn't even wear a two.
I would
I don't
be
even think I
so
wore a two.
embarrassed.
I
No.
don't even think I wore a two-piece when I could wear a
Well,
two-piece.
okay. The two pieces now, though, they do go above your belly button.
Yeah, but I
They're not
remember.
the butt thing,
Okay,
though. I have to have
I
my
wonder.
butt covered.
I wonder what your two-piece will look like. So last summer we went
It
to
won't be a
we
one
went
piece,
we were
but
at
it will
Great
be
Wolf,
split.
and Britt's like,
No, it was on the beach.
I'm
It was
so
on the
embarrassed
lake.
because this
Wasn't it when
was
we
it
went
on
to the
like this
lake?
swimsuit I got. I can't remember,
Booty.
but she's like,
It's
the swimsuit I
bootylicious.
got is really, it's
It might
really
be. It
revealing.
was out
I'm
there.
really nervous. It is
My
a
butt was.
full one piece black swimsuit,
It
and
had sheer zip through it.
okay, there was two sheer spots around her waist, and then it was cut. It was not cut high, like on the butt,
It was.
compared to what I've seen, but it wasn't a full coverage like granny panty
It was
situation.
cheeky. It was cheeky.
Barely cheeky.
It
Like
was
maybe I
cheeky.
no,
It's
it
like
was
those
not. I'm like,
pants, the wedgie pants. Who names a thing a wedgie pant? Like,
who buys a thing
I
called a
bought
wedgie pants?
somebody whose airline lost their luggage and
Oh my
nothing
God.
else fits because
Okay,
all the regular ones were.
let's think of like a life lesson your mother taught you that day that would have came in handy.
Always
Why?
carry spare clothes and oh no, wear underwear. That's your life lesson every day. Can't try on clothes. How many times have we been somewhere and I'm like, shit, I can't try on clothes. I don't have underwear
But
on.
you know how many people try on clothes that don't wear underwear?
I know, I just can't do it.
That's why you got to wash your clothes when you get them.
Some reason my mom gave me morals. It's annoying. It's all get out.
Don't be sticking your
Your hoo-ha or your
hoo-ha
booty
in
on
everybody's
clothes.
clothes. Okay, so
Um,
what's happening besides you're working in your office?
oh, we did a clean out of the boys. So Huey told me he had too many toys and he needed to get rid of some.
What?
Yeah, so we went through. We actually have some to donate to the center. So my luggage will get lost again, but it will have to be
Oh my
delivered to
God.
Iowa. So we went through toys.
Oh, nice.
And cleaned all that out. And then we're sitting there. What were Huey and I doing? I can't even remember. And all of a sudden, Dustin yells up the stairs that there is a dog lost in our neighborhood.
Oh, I forgot about Ollie. Yeah. Mm.
His name is Ollie, and he was lost on our street, and he is blind and deaf.
He's in.
And
He's fine. He's fine.
so we went out to look for him, and we could not find him. He still has not been found. However, I had a dream that he was found nestled safely in a tree trunk. And weirdly, now my trunk is being dug out by some animal, which is odd. But yes, Ollie.
It's probably Ollie.
Ollie happened.
It probably is.
I know. And then the mourning dove we found does not have a mate.
Oh my God. It's just, but you've had a rough weekend. I mean,
the animals. However, our cardinals, both of them are back together.
oh my God. So do you remember during COVID when you made fun of me because I would send you bird pictures all the time?
Mm-hmm. Huey and I take bird pictures all the time. Glinda is growing. Glinda is our sourdough starter.
Oh my God.
We just kept all the plants. My bird of
the worst.
paradise is burnt.
Well, what'd you tell me? Either wet or
No, we think it's too close to the window. So I'm
wet
not
or
that person.
burnt.
As I was reading the ingredients of the cheese at the grocery store, my mother
Oh my
was
God.
like, please don't tell me you started making sourdough. And I'm like, well, Glinda's at home.
Well, at least you didn't bring her with you in your backpack.
I did not. But did you all know, just so we're aware, sharp cheddar cheese, or I don't even know if it's just sharp, but has food coloring in it.
I we had the so the thing is too, it's just like if we're gonna get rid of all of these food dyes and
Holy
um
Hannah.
chemicals and pesticides, it's going to change the way our food looks. It just is
Yes.
because we're so, and how long our food lasts
Lasts.
and preservatives keep
And then how
everything
much it
like,
costs.
yeah, like the hard boiled eggs you can buy already boiled,
Oh,
but
yeah,
they
that's
last for like 3 weeks in your
not
fridge.
good.
Like, what is in those eggs?
Real hard boiled eggs with the shells on last 7 days, and I think you're supposed to eat the
What?
non shells within 3 days. If I remember, I need a fact check,
So you
but
don't
I'm
kill
pretty
someone.
sure. And I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Our one
Okay.
reader, our one listener will be like, I ate a hard boiled egg on the eighth day or
I
seventh
told you.
day and I
So
died.
Dustin has this friend who would eat any leftover for like weeks at a time.
Mm,
Like he did not care. I swear, like three
mm-mm.
weeks he would still eat it. Well, I made
Mm-mm.
lasagna and the boys they ate it, but I cook like I cook for 12 people because something in my childhood, because of a buffalo wheat chicken, I can never have enough food, so I make sure everyone has. Okay, so I on day 6 was dumping it out because you're not supposed to technically keep leftovers over. I think it's actually 5 days. I think we were a day. But all I could think of was, God, I wish we still lived next to Foster because he would have eaten all of this for us.
My sister-in-law would scrape the mold off stuff.
Oh,
Like,
that's weird.
and your dad will not eat any leftover like that is over a day old. He
Mm-hmm.
will not eat it. He
Yeah.
always thinks I'm trying to kill him. I mean, there was one incident with some ranch dressing that was 4 years old, but I like you can look, but I just ate beef that was 5 days. I Googled it and I'm sure Google wouldn't lie to me. And I didn't get sick, so I think it was fine. I don't know. But nothing is happening in my world. It's just been status quo.
Really? So, okay. hmm. Are you
Hmm.
sure? Because I feel like this is going to take me straight. We're not even going to listen to what's happening with you. I'm going to tell you what's happening. So we're moving on to F and Jepson's. F and Jepson's. How's your construction going? Where did you just dump your water? Just curious.
Well, so here's
Can
the
I get a
deal.
construction update?
Your father, who plumbing is not his first forte, he the one side of the sink, he has it like stuffed full of like paper towel. And then the other side of the sink you can use. I don't know, but I thought the drains were tied together. So I don't know how all that works. Anyway, I went and poured the dog bowl water out on the wrong side and I can hear it. Like I heard it run all the way down the floor. And I'm like, oh, that's a half a gallon of water. I don't even know how much water it was. But
Well,
other
after you did that, I jumped on the podcast to start recording. I was talking to our producer, and I'm like, I hope she didn't like slip in it and fall because she's taking a minute to get on.
no, because so we have all these rooms to paint because we're painting the whole
Because
house.
you're a
And
freak.
yeah, and I've started painting in every single room. But then your dad just texted me and is like, "Oh, the guys that did the rooms are coming to get all their ladders, which are all throughout the house. So I'm trying to get them together and I
Like
can't
a real life
record in
shooting
my
ladder.
yeah, I can't like I can't record in my office because it sounds like I'm in a cave because
Yes.
it's got vaulted ceilings and no pictures. And so then I had to come down to my bedroom. Well, I can't record in here because there's so much crap where everything is shoved. I am,
I
I
love that
will
I
say,
look more put together than you. I'm just going to say, I know you're the one who put me together when you were here, but I do love that I
I've,
look more put together than you.
okay, here's the thing. When I go to Minneapolis tomorrow, I will be buying socks because I can't find any socks. I
I
went
got
and
one.
fed my,
I got one of your yellow socks here.
oh, that was the one I had on yesterday. I had a yellow and white sock and I
I
went and
have the
stopped.
yellow one.
The lady that owns the pasture where we keep our horses is this just lovely German woman who is 85 and I just love talking to her, but I'm sitting there talking to her and she goes, "Your socks don't match." And I said, "You know what, Wally? I can't find any socks." And I
Wally's
can
a
only find
girl?
Wally is a girl. Yeah.
What?
You thought
I
Wally
thought
was a
Wally
boy?
was like the boy this whole time.
No, Wally is a girl. Anyway, I
Huh.
cannot find my socks or my underwear. And so I have like 3 pair of underwear on rotation. And like if I don't, so I've been doing laundry like
Oh, you're
often
allowed to
because I
touch
only,
the washer and dryer again?
oh my God. Well, only with my own. So when Britt was here, this is another, my husband is insane. So I decided to wash the blankets in the dog's kennel and so I threw them in the washing machine. And apparently I didn't shake out the dog hair. I don't know what happened, but I think he overreacted.
I just love you, Dad, but a little,
He
a
threw a
hair. Yep.
big freaking fit about his clothes. I shoved the washing machine was first it was too
This
full
one's
because
ruined.
I'm like, it's how is it ruined? Because apparently, if I shove too many clothes in when they dry and they don't get the wrinkles out, and so I did quit doing laundry for a couple weeks. But now, with only having 3 pair of underwear, I have to do my own laundry, which I
In
shove completely full.
in my father's defense, because
Oh,
you know I have to
Jesus.
throw that in there, I think he was more frustrated because you bought a washer and dryer that he has to bend over to use,
No, no, no.
and
I
he can't
changed it.
bend.
No, first I had him stack them. And he couldn't
So
bend
bad.
over and then fit in the tiny little area where the washer and dryer
It's
went.
a tiny area.
Then I'm like, can you buy the pedestals? I hate to tell you, I hate the pedestals and I really don't
No,
want the pedestal.
you're done. Don't care. Nope.
So I
No,
come,
thank you.
I'm again out with my horse, enjoying my life, scooping poop, and Britt calls and I
No.
miss the call.
How many
This is when
times?
she,
Yeah, there you
like
go.
5 times. And then Shane called me and I'm like, oh my God, one of them's dead.
They're
No, I have to help.
pinned underneath the washer.
I have to help move the washing machine because
Okay,
it's too heavy.
no, excuse you. Retract that statement. You have to help because neither of us have functioning limbs. First off, he can't use his hands because
Oh my
of
God.
something.
He's got carpal tunnel. It's
And
like a
then,
robot.
so we can't create a pulley system because he can't pull. and and then his knees, but then I could get it up enough, but then when I had to rotate my knees and my hip is out, I couldn't rotate myself from the kneeling to the standing position.
Oh
So
my
I
God.
literally,
So
we needed you just to hold it for a second so that I could rotate myself to help push him into his pulley system.
the problem is going to be my
I'm just
body
saying,
is
they
not
were
going to give
not too
out.
heavy.
It's not going to give out. I'm not going
It's
to be
going
able
to
to
be
lift anything because
frustrating as fuck.
but my mind, I'm going to be like the little lady I follow on TikTok, Granny, who all she wants to do is eat. And I mean, I'm not going to know where I'm at, but I'll be
Okay.
able to still do things.
I'm gonna get real for a second, okay?
Oh, Jesus.
It's gonna be a minute. We're gonna have a moment here. Pull it together. Okay. So anyone who has chronic pain, I feel for
Oh,
you.
Lord.
I can't even, like, mine isn't even near like Taylor's. Like, I can't even understand what hers might be like with her spinal cord injury. So most people know, I don't know if I've actually fully talked about it, but I'm on 2.5 years completely sober. Haven't drank, haven't done anything else. I got on a horse. Love me a horse. It is my happy place. I got on bareback and I'm like, oh, this is fine, but I can't lope because Jake was acting a fool.
He was
So
kind
I'm
of
like,
naughty.
okay, that's fine. We'll get back on tomorrow. So we got him saddled up and I got back on and I threw a fit like my father. Let's just say that. But I was in so much pain. I couldn't ride my mom's horse, whatever. I could not ride.
Did you just try to steal my horse?
I did. I could not ride the horse at
Thank
all. This was the first time, I think, in almost 2 years, probably, that I got off that horse. And I'm like, I could ride that horse if I went to the doctor and got some medicine and had a drink. Like that was
Numbed
chronic.
yourself.
Yeah, I could have been on that horse. I could have been fine. I could have been totally riding
Well,
it.
you
So,
probably would have fell off because you were drunk.
well, and okay, I also had my yoga pants on and my UGG
I
boots. I was
well,
not in
there's
appropriate
not.
attire. But I'm just saying, chronic pain, like anyone
No,
who
I get
has
it.
it, I'm always for that, to like reach out, and I am more than open to talk about chronic pain. And I know that's how Dad is too when he can't do his construction stuff.
Oh my God.
Like
His thing
his arms
was
though, I can't.
his arms. He
The
has to
carpal
wear.
tunnel, I don't get.
He's getting surgery. So he got so he's on the list to get surgery. I think he goes like the 1st of March to
Mm-hmm.
talk to the surgeon. He got the testing, but it's really hard to not make fun of him. At night, he puts on his huge CPAP machine and then he has his carpal tunnel wrist things on, but then he loses movement in his hands and like I'll be
Oh
like, "Oh
my
my God,
god.
I forgot to fill the humidifier because it's really dry." And he'll be like, "I have no digits that work." But I can't understand him
Okay, this is
because
so
he has
true.
this mask. He has this
And then they're
mask on.
fumbling up the stairs because the guest room is right under them. And I'm like, what the hell? Just got chucked somewhere. Because let me tell you, that,
It's
okay.
well, I tell you what though, so the doctor asked if they want to do both arms at the same time, and I'm like, absolutely not.
I'll be like
Like
Edward scissored
I
hands.
can't.
Oh my
I
god.
cannot
You're
take
gonna
care of
end up
him.
flying him out here. Drug him and fly him
I
out here.
can't. I
Well,
cannot take
okay.
care of him.
So, and I don't usually tell my sister stories, but she had messaged me the other day to vent because we're struggling with one of our clients. And I know if I were there in person, like I would be with this client every single day till we figured him out. And that is what Taylor wants to do. But her body will not allow her. We had to come up with a code word when he takes off and she's on the ground because she
Oh
can't
my God.
pop herself up fast enough. And so she has, and he is attention seeking. So we have to be like, oh, how are you doing in there? Like
Yeah.
just a normal
Or
conversation.
something normal.
Normal.
For normal
Everyday
people.
conversation.
Everyday
Anyway,
conversation.
the other day she was with him and he took off and she went to pop up and she goes, the Russians are coming. The Russians are coming. I'm like, first off, that's not even the saying. I'm pretty sure it's the British are coming. But I'm like, that is not a normal conversation component
I
that we
mean, for
told you to
her, it
have.
might be.
You are correct. But yeah, so she
I
messaged me
do.
the other night. I didn't tell you that, but yeah. And she's like, I'm so pissed that I can't do it.
Yeah.
And
That's
so
always been you and hers thing. It's like, I have never wanted to run. Physically, I could run if I wanted to. I
hey
mean,
Hattie.
not well, but I could run. But like,
Gracefully.
I remember you and her would be so upset
Pissed.
that
I did hurdles in high school. I was part of the 800 and the mile relay team. I high jumped in high school. Like, and long jumped. I pretty much
yeah,
tried to do everything I could possibly do that would be bad for my knees. And
yeah,
yeah, like I was in catching
100%.
position for Huey the other day and I had to like sit down to get myself back up out of the catching position.
Yeah, no, it does suck when you
Yeah.
physically can't do
So
the
that
things
being
that you
said,
want to do.
the washer and dryer were not too heavy.
Okay, sorry. Sorry. I mean, I think you guys should just realize I'm the muscle and the
Yeah.
brain. The
Mm-hmm.
brain and the bronze of the situation.
The muscle for like 2 seconds and then all of a sudden you forget how to
Just
lift.
drop. Well, that was the cabinet. So we have to carry the cabinets up, and your dad hates to ask for help. And so he's like, I
Mm-hmm.
think we can do it. No. So the guy that helped us is my
The
friend's
kid.
son, and the kid who's in his 30s. Anyway, he is on one end pulling this cabinet up, and your dad and I are both at the other end pushing. Like it took two of us to do one person's job. And now there's a porcelain, we have not a porcelain, a cast iron tub that we're taking out. And Colton's so sweet. He's like, I'll just bring some friends. Just not.
I tried that. The fact that Dad thought I could help him carry that
I
tub, I can lift a little leg corner, like and barely.
and then take it down a flight of steps.
Yeah,
Like,
he has
he's
lost his ever
insane.
loving mind.
He
Yes,
is insane.
I know.
Insane.
Oh my gosh.
So, but Colton has he has a lot of little kids, and so I think he's more than happy to come over and
To come
help
out, he's
us.
like, what do these old people need? You know,
And
you've
what?
become that special friend that
Hmm. We're the
talks
old
about
people.
you're the old
Hmm.
people on the block that they help
Oh, we
out.
are. I
Okay.
mean,
All right.
okay.
Let's go into. So, my favorite animal is. Okay.
Oh, God.
I just have to say before I do this, my brother does not like to be a part of the cult.
The canine cult.
The canine cult, yeah. However, we cannot leave him out. My favorite animal is my brother trying to figure out why a social norm occurs and how to meet that social norm so he can interact successfully with
And
his
doing
peers.
all the research of where the social norm came from, where the origins of the social norm are, why the social norm exists. I mean, it is not just whatever. So,
No.
we were I can't remember. Did it come in a text or did he
I don't
call
think I
me?
got it. He must have
He
called
might
you.
have just, maybe he just sent it to me.
Because
I
I feel
don't
like I
know.
would have been like, oh yeah, we don't do eye contact.
Yeah,
that
so
way.
he is trying to, he must have called me. So he's trying to figure out, he's always had issues with eye contact. And if he's with someone known, um, I'll notice that he looks at that known person when he's talking to someone he doesn't know. So, like, it's this eye contact. So he realized a while ago that he needed to work on eye contact.
I think it
And
was
so he's
following a
still
13-hour car ride where I made him listen to behavior analytic podcast for 13 hours.
probably the trip from hell for the poor kid and guy, because he's an adult too. So he is working on eye contact. And I don't know what happened that brought this up again, but he's working at he goes, part of his job is to go to a farmer's market and to sell. And so he's trying to figure out the right amount of eye contact in making a sale versus like meaningful conversation eye contact to
He would like it
casual
categorized.
contact. Yeah, like he's trying to figure out the right eye contact. So then he's like, I found somewhere that told how many seconds of eye contact you're supposed to have. And I don't remember if it was 5 seconds or whatever.
It was
So
5. Research says
yeah.
5. Research is
So
wrong.
he's like, then I felt, so I did 5 seconds, but then I felt like the lady got uncomfortable about me. And I'm like, oh my God, was it 5 Mississippis or like, did you just count to 5? What did you do? And he's like, well, I counted to 5 slowly, but then I think that I shouldn't have counted so slowly. And I'm like, oh my God.
Oh my gosh. John Tucker Must Die. Do you know remember that movie?
Yeah.
Where they're trying to get her to flirt with the guy and they're like, you have to wait 3 seconds before you respond. And then in her head, she stops and counts to 3 seconds. And they're like, what are you doing? And they say something very inappropriate, but you don't want him to think you're dumb or something like that. But I can picture Kyler in his head being like,
oh, his lips were probably moving. 2 Mississippi.
5
So
Mississippi.
So now
and then what's the interval between eye contact?
Right.
Did you look that up?
No.
Like how long are you supposed to look away?
Well, and then he's like, how are you supposed to look at them? How are you supposed to look at them? And I'm like, well, not
2 Mississippi.
So I love that.
But what did he say about gorillas?
Oh my God. So then he said, if you look it up, we get eye contact from gorillas because we as Homo sapiens come from gorillas, which I don't even want to get into the evolution versus whatever. Anyway, he said with a gorilla, when they stare at you intensely, they either want to fight or they want to have we're not using that word, so we don't. We are reading
a book called Fuckless. We can't not use the word. Plus, when we get to this, I'll tell you why.
So Kyler, I'm like, Kyler, I understand that the gorillas did that. And I said, well, weren't you just selling her pasta? You didn't want to do either. So maybe just like a glance. Like you don't, he's like, but I don't want her to feel like she's not heard. I want some linguine. But that social norm stuff is
Yeah.
so hard
So that's why I
because,
think he would be a perfect member of the cult.
oh, I know.
Because he could, with our older kids, explain to them why we have to work on these goals. Like, dude, you're right. Eye contact sucks. I'm horrible at eye contact. Like, I am a 3-second person I will orient my body towards you.
Oh my God. Well,
my body towards you.
so as you know, we at K-Now in the K-Now cult, we'd only bring people we know in. And so
Really.
like producer Shannon came from K-State and worked in 4-H.
I
So
left her
for
name out of it. Dang. You're name
no,
dropping.
I named so that was one of like 4-H always had these great I use quotation marks, get to know you.
Thinking. My heart to
Yeah, but you would have to stand. One of them was to stand like a foot, like an inch maybe, and you were supposed to memorize what the person was wearing or whatever, and then they'd turn around and take like an earring off or something, and then you'd have to turn around and stare at them again. Like, how uncomfortable is that?
That's very uncomfortable.
Or one, I went to listen to the K-State football player or coach or whatever, and you had to pick someone from across the room and make eye contact with them. I went to the bathroom. I left.
And you wonder why my brother has to research eye contact.
I'm like, this is the most insane.
And I can only make eye contact for 3 seconds. Oh my God.
How uncomfortable. Like, why?
No, I agree. So
and that's why I'll never write a goal. Never write a goal of eye contact.
So that's why we got to name it something other than the K-Now call. But as we're writing up our goal bank, because we're trying to be more inclusive of our stuff, it is eye contact. I do not write goals for eye contact. This is a Dr. Farley thing too, where I'm like, you can orient your body towards the person to show that you are engaged with them. You do not have to stare them in the eye for 5 seconds. So any student that is like, oh, that's not eye contact. Eye contact is this. And I'm like, okay, turn your camera on and stare at me for 5 seconds. Yeah.
And then we'll see how comfortable you feel.
Yeah. And you're going to tell a client to stare at somebody for, now count to 5 seconds, because it is, it is orient your body towards the person to indicate that you are engaged in their conversation.
Right. Okay. So let's do our follow-up of all practitioners should be executed by the end of the day.
I love that we have nonchalantly included murder and bodily injury into our podcast episode without even, we didn't even pick a theme.
I know.
We're just people. Okay.
So AI is a big conversation piece overall.
It is.
And I know.
They're upping Google prices because of the Gemini feature.
Oh my God. Well, so AI can be super helpful, especially in people that have English as a second language.
Yes.
But so we had a stressful week last week, and we had a bunch of audits, and one of the owners sent out a thing saying he was not happy. So the tone of the email already was he was not pleased because some things were dropped. And the end was, here is what I think should happen to remedy this situation. All practitioners should be executed by the end of the day. And he uses AI all the time. And I'm like, oh my God, if that's not just sums up our week, probably.
It was a week. So we have our 3 audits. Okay, so I feel like we're going to get new listeners, so I'm going to break down stuff. I think we're going to get 2 or 3. I'm just
2 or 3. Oh, is that our goal? I love the goal. It's a good goal.
You know how I like to set goals. We have to come in contact with reinforcement. Duh. Anyway. All right. So I'm going to
Okay, so this is for the new 2 to 3 new listeners.
2 to 3 new listeners. So we own K-Now Behavioral Solutions, right? Okay, so then we also own another company, an actual center in Iowa, Ike and Ivy Learning, and Taylor and Jackie run that center. Anyway, I swear last week with 2 businesses, like who thought that was a good idea?
Well, and we
It was
actually
not me,
have
just
more
so
than
we're
2
aware.
businesses.
We
We
do. We
actually have more
each
than 2
have
businesses, but
a
the 2,
consulting.
yeah,
Yes.
that's the
Plus we
problem.
both teach.
Yes. And I'm going to start working as a waitress. That's what I decided on Thursday night when we
You
were
took
out to
my
eating.
dream. I had a dream that I did just start working again as a waitress. Like that seemed easier,
So,
easily. Anyway,
the that I think I would do great because there's a little restaurant that my friend Wally owns called the
who
Alpine.
is a girl?
You should go to the Alpine Inn in Hill City, South Dakota. It's amazing. But at night, they serve 2 options. You either get schnitzel with vegetables or a steak, a bacon wrapped sirloin. And it's that, and I'm like, I
And
could
you would
do that.
totally be able to do that.
Yeah, it's 2 options, but they do have like a 3-page dessert menu. That might be where I get a little foggy.
Ooh, you did not tell me that. Have we
Oh
tried
my
every
God,
dessert?
is so good. Oh, I've taken Taylor there.
I didn't know. Again,
Oh
thought
yeah.
Wally was a boy. How long have you
So
known Wally?
since we've lived here, Alpine Land
Exactly.
is
Makes
kind of
every story just a little bit different.
um, but I'm like, you know what? I might ask Wally if I can work there at nights so that I could then I would
During
have,
observation times, which is during supper time, which is also when you teach, is after supper time.
oh, yeah, that would be a problem. I'd have to figure out the scheduling. The scheduling might
Um,
be a problem,
well,
but
I resigned as a clinical BCBA last week. I'm just reminding everybody of that. I am leaving out.
you also resigned as a actual employee at K now, and then all of a sudden, every once in a while, you come back
Again, I
with a
know all the
vengeance.
owners this week were like, we haven't seen you for a while. I'm like, no, you haven't. You have not. I am back. I think, okay.
Guess
I
who's
also think
back?
it's because we're trying to
Back
get
again.
ready for some in person. So you leave
Oh,
tomorrow, which
I
is why
fly
we're
out.
recording on a Monday
I
instead of
fly
a
out at
Wednesday.
5:30 a.m. and I fly back home at 10 o'clock at night.
Mm-hmm.
Should be good
That should be a
times.
fun day. Yep. And then you're home, and then we leave Wednesday the next week, I think,
Well,
to go
I've
to
booked,
Iowa.
I forgot to tell you, I booked my plane ticket twice. So, but I found out I booked it twice in the 24-hour, like, so they just refunded my credit card.
Oh,
So
nice.
that was nice.
Oh, that's
But
good.
yeah, I thought I booked it and I'm like, I couldn't find it on my app. And
That's
then
what
I
happened
looked,
to me. The Delta app is not working on my phone
oh,
anymore either. So now I'm going to have to get a paper ticket.
well, did you update your app?
I did, and I deleted it and reinstalled it.
Hmm.
I also don't know my password. It's saved in my.
That could be part of the
Yeah.
problem.
Mm-hmm.
But so I
Anyway,
fly out tomorrow and then I fly out next week. And then I,
next week's should be fun.
yeah, next week. And then I'm gone. I'm home for a week. And then we're going for a long weekend. And then I go for the last week in March. I'm going to Dallas with a friend for a week. So I'm like, March went by. I feel like January and February went really fast, but I think March is going to go fast. And then April, we all travel in April, don't we?
Yeah, to Iowa.
Yeah.
Well, I was trying to explain a billing cycle to an owner and got my March and my April flipped around. Like I thought next month was April when I was trying to explain it. And Crystal is like, that doesn't sound right.
Everyone is, I mean, that could be part of the problem is like, I feel like sometimes people do question us because every once in a while we sort of
Sort of
lose it.
figure.
But in the end, I feel like we're competent. That's
Okay.
my,
I feel like that's a perfect segue into trust the
oh,
protocol.
trust the protocol. Oh, Lord have
Okay, so this
mercy.
is our
Okay,
NDA segment. Oh, you
my,
got your glasses on?
I got my
Okay,
glasses on. I'm
so
ready.
trust in the protocol today, we're going to talk
Hmm.
about MOs and SDs. So I swear this is like the 3-term and 4-term
Oh.
contingencies is where we either lose the students
Hmm.
or we do not lose the students. So we have a few students who are starting their ABA journey and in their first class, and they're learning about the 4-term contingency, which is motivating operation discriminative stimuli, which is an SD, which also throws everyone off. Like, why not call it a DS? Anyway, and then the behavior, and then the consequence, which if it's an SD is either a reinforcer.
Right.
Positive or negative. If it's an S delta,
right,
then it's the punishment, right?
Which I was talking to one of our no, S delta is there's no reinforcement available.
Yeah, so then
Yeah.
it would be a
But
punishment,
that
would be
doesn't
a consequence,
necessarily
right?
well, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's a punishment. It just means there's no reinforcement. So are we saying that if it's absence of reinforcement does not necessarily mean a punishment?
And then the consequence is for the future behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Is that consequence going to increase or decrease the future?
Decrease the future behavior. It's not so I think that that's the first problem, is that you feel like when you're talking about SD's motivation, that it's that behavior that's occurring at that very moment.
Mm-hmm.
So if I don't even know, give me an example. It's not affecting what I'm doing right now. It's affecting if I'm going to do it again or not do it again.
But the motivation operation, so the MO, which can either be an EO or an AO. I didn't even bring that up to Jackie. So that is in the moment behavior.
Right. If it's evocative or yeah. What did you used to call it? I can't remember what you used to call it. Abative, or is it abative?
Abate, oh my God. Or evoke. Abative.
Yeah. I can't remember what you my God.
Did I sound
I don't remember. I can't remember. And you're like, I've taught for 4 years. There's a bunch of PCBAs going around that don't know how to say the word.
Because I would just change it to evoke and abate, which I know are completely different. Anyway, so the motivating operation are environmental factors that affect the value of the reinforcer and the likelihood for a behavior. So there could be, I use the race one. So before I do it, I'm also going to say discriminative stimulus is a cue that signals reinforcement is available. So if you are running a race and you are a mile in and you see a water fountain, you most likely are not going to stop, even though the water fountain signals that reinforcement of water is available.
Right.
Because you've only been running for a mile and you haven't evoked that need for the water. So now let's say you're running 5 miles and you see a water fountain. You have now removed the water from your body. So you've created that motivation to seek water.
You were deprived.
Of the water. Yes. And then the water fountain signals that water is available. So you stop and get the water. Now here's where it can get a little more confusing. If water comes out of that water fountain, great, you've been hydrated.
And you're going to know
that water
is available.
If water does not come out of that water fountain, you've not been rewarded. So you maybe run another mile and see another water fountain. You most likely will stop again because you're still deprived of water. And in the past, water fountains typically have given you water. But let's say this one does not give you water again. You run another mile and see a water fountain. You're not going to stop for that water because that water fountain no longer is an SD. It does not signal that water. However, if you go back to that original one and it still gives you water, you most likely run another 5 miles. You're going to stop for the water in the water fountain. However, if you hydrate yourself, I know I'm getting it confusing for everyone now, but if you hydrate yourself and in a mile you see another water fountain, you most likely are not going to stop because you're not deprived of water anymore.
The other thing could be if the water fountain or a bottle of water. So you're not going to stop at the water fountain because the water fountain in the past has not had water, but you know that if it's a bottle of water sitting there, unless you are worried it's going to be poisoned, but you would probably grab the bottle of water versus the water fountain. It affects your future.
Yeah. The other is, let's say you're driving home and you drive past a McDonald's and you did not eat lunch. at work. So you've now been deprived of
What?
food, and you know that the McDonald's gives you food. You most likely are going to stop to get food at that McDonald's. And then you get the food, that increases your future behavior of stopping if you have been deprived. However, if you eat lunch, you have no longer been deprived of food. You see a McDonald's on the way home, you're not going to stop. Even though that does signal that reinforcement of food is available. However, your motivation is changed. And I think when we're working with clients, that's the key part.
And your motivation can change 15 times in an hour. Like, our motivation does not stay the same no matter if, like, the food thing. Like, normally that would be, or I have snacks in the car. So even though I'm hungry, I still might not stop at McDonald's because I know that I have other way to get food. I don't have snacks in the car. I would stop at McDonald's. Like, your motivation is always going to change.
Your history with McDonald's. If you stopped at McDonald's and then got sick after eating at McDonald's, you're most likely not going to stop at McDonald's again. Yeah. So I think that's important too.
Confusing too.
Confusing, but important. And that was not like super, I would break it down with more pictures and more things. So I don't want to talk too much more because I feel like we will get them muddled. I know I would.
Yeah, no, that was a good nice.
Thank you.
Good Lord. Okay.
So let's move really quick since somebody did not do her reading.
I don't know. I can't find the book. You know what? If I could unpack a box, maybe.
Okay, so we're going to talk about
I've read the first part of the book, though. Okay.
Have you? Because I only read that first part, too.
The intro where she talks about why she makes the decision. Yep. I've read that.
So, first off, earlier when my mother told me not to use the F word, I'm like, the book we're reading is called Fuckless. So guess what? The F's are going to be given. But I think it's interesting in her, before diving in, she explains that the fucks are someone else's stuff. They are someone else's fears, experiences, opinions, or thoughts. So I freely use the F word. I don't as much in front of my mom because she gives me a look. But I also am aware that we came up with different histories, and sometimes the F word is more traumatic for other people to hear. Just like the C word. I won't throw that one in here. But like that makes nothing to me. Like honestly, however, I know that a lot of people are very offended when you use the C word.
Well, the problem I think too is like I never swore when I grew up. Like I would have never swore in front of my grandma. Yeah, no, never. But I also was married to a couple, but so swearing is not that big of a deal. And I always taught it's discrimination, right? Like where you're going to swear and where you're not going to swear. I would never use the F word when I'm in a business meeting. Except like there is one owner that I'm really good friends with. I mean, we're not good friends, but like we have a different kind of relationship that she swears, I swear. Not very often. I still try to be, but like when you can swear.
For me when you swear. I'm just gonna say it is. It's very awkward.
I swear all the time.
You drop an F-bomb,
when you were
especially because when I know you start to swear, I know that I'm gonna start liaising.
I'm going to liaise. I'm going to need to liaise
with that person. I volunteer as tribute.
But I always told you guys growing up, like, it's just like listening to bad, like, you can do whatever you want, but you can't swear. You shouldn't swear around me. You shouldn't swear around people. Respect other people because not everyone swears. You shouldn't sing swear words. What are you doing? What are you doing right now? You're rifling.
I have the book. I'm rifling because I did my homework. Jesus.
Amen, sister. Amen.
I did my homework. I have my reference. Which is also what I like about her. If you remember in her very front, she's like, I'm going to be saying research shows or a study by blank suggests. Like, I love that she's going to
That
have that
made
in
you
her
so
book.
happy, didn't it?
It did make me so happy.
Okay,
But
so go on with your F words.
I feel like I'm just going to go through the 10 fucks that we're going to talk about because,
okay.
And then we can move on to our peak and pit because I talked a lot today. Anyway, so our 10 fucks are be small, be soft, be less, be the exception, be stifled, be everything, be chosen, be dependent, be fixed, be sexy but sweet, which I'm so excited to read that chapter with you. I know nothing about it, but I feel like it's gonna be an awkward chapter for you.
Oh my god, I gotta pull up my sexy but sweet. Perfect.
Yeah. So I think I like the be soft or be less. And so
be
I'm
less.
excited.
I mean, I remember a long time ago, and it was I can't remember what happened, like who you had pissed off, but I'm like, I sent you something that I was like, don't ever like apologize for.
Well, I think this is how you raised me, honestly. You did raise me to be respectful, which is why I get pinched under the table a lot in business meetings. But as you know, my other reference of life is the Real Housewives. And she was like Dr. Wendy. I love her. Anyway, she's like, people are mad because I walk into the room like God sent me there. God did send me there. That is who sent me in that room.
I'm not apologizing for, No,
so now I'm going to walk in every room like God sent me there, just so
well,
we know,
here's the problem. So here's what happened. I raised strong people, like to have very strong opinions on things, right? I didn't realize that I was going to be in business with 2 out of 3 of them. And so while your strong opinions or your strong ways, like I think we do a really good job, and maybe like internally we don't, but of me not being your mom during certain situations where I like as a mom, I'm like, holy hell, like who raised this child?
You did. And you did send me the picture over and over again that says, what if I fall? Oh, but what if you fly? And that is literally how it is. But I'm also, I find it hard to argue a lot with like our elders, which is weird. Like I do respect, even though they're being assholes. I'm not going to sit and
you
tell
also
them.
know I can step in, because that's the thing we learn about the culture that we work in. Like you can say the exact same thing I'll say, but they all know I'm your mom. And so they defer to me, which I mean, I don't have much power in any other place.
Y'all, I walked into a parent meeting one day and literally had a mom look at me and be like, where's your mom? I have been a BCBA for almost 10 years this year. Let me
my
go get
mom
my mom.
has not.
Let me
go get her. I was at Target taking a minute, if I remember correctly.
You
and
were.
You're like,
and I couldn't eat because my mom raised me respectfully, and I couldn't start eating the food that was nicely brought to me until you got in the room, because that is the respectful thing to do, no matter how hungry I was.
So, and you're like, where are you? And I'm like, I'm at Target. And you're like, I thought you were just going out to the car. And I'm like, it ended up being I needed a lot more.
And got in it and drove away.
Just kept driving. It was like, and the mothership called me home. It was Target. Okay.
But okay. Pit and peak. Oh my gosh, I don't even know. What is yours? You go first this time.
My pit and peak. Oh, okay. My peak was that I have cabinets. Okay.
Ooh.
So, but my pit is that your dad is going to pull out the old sink that does not work, and he's going to set the cabinets himself. So it's twofold. And then I'll also be gone tomorrow when he does the majority of this work, which is also good because I can't listen to him swear and cuss and throw a fit about things not working. But the fact that I'm getting closer to actually having a workspace and almost a full.
Let me just say, before you got on, when we were talking about you, my producer, she asked if she thought ever one day you guys would move into a house where you didn't do construction, and I said you did, but you still did construction. Like I grew up where my mom was like, oh, we need another room. And my dad's like, no problem. Let me build you an entire new part of the house. Like
I do. I'd still do it. I'll be like, I really want it to look like this. He's getting to the point, with his carpal tunnel that he can't do as much, but he will hire me. But it is nice having someone that I'm like, oh, I want you to, like, he's going to do most of the bathroom because he can do some of that stuff, or he's going to put tile in. But yeah, so I do appreciate him, but he annoys me. Okay. What's your pit and peak?
Peak. I feel like I have a lot of peak, but I'm going to throw it back to work. My peak is that we promoted Miss Canyon into executive director to keep the executive team in line. And my God, did she keep us in line today? She's like, I have to be off this meeting in 15 minutes. Are we going to talk about something we really need to talk about, or we're just here to chit chat? She didn't say it that way because it's Canyon.
But that's what she meant.
But that's what she meant. And I'm really excited to see her grow. And that was probably one of my
because she started as an RBT.
And then tried to leave. But we setting, but no, didn't work.
We didn't
so now we're taking her to Iowa next week.
That will either cement her place in our business, or she will make a fast exodus.
She will also have the option to meet my grandparents and go language shopping.
The whole family. That's how I roll. Okay, what was your pit?
My pit
Ollie.
Ollie, the dove. So many animal situations. My pit is probably that I'm actually extremely nervous about the surgery because my husband is.
What's he having?
He goes, what if I go blind? And I'm like,
isn't he just having blind? What aren't they just?
I don't know. LASIK,
they're just doing the LASIK. Whatever LASIK.
It's the other thing. It's not LASIK though. It's the other one. I don't know what other one.
I want to get that done. Like, oh my God! Can you imagine having to take care of him when he was?
No, I can't. I don't know, but it'll be interesting. That's my bit. Is that he has to go.
He'll be fine.
I have to drive home. That's what I'm more worried about, is me driving for 3 hours.
Well, he won't be able to see what you're doing anyway, so it'll be fine.
It'll be fine. But, okay. Well,
another week
that was a very well organized and put together podcast. If you would like to find more of our shenanigans, we're going to share even more about our family and our cult.
Producer Shannon's going to be she's going to get on our family text. That's what we're going to do.
Our family text, which I think is
she won't share her location. She won't share her location with us. I know it already.
Okay, well, follow us on And Then She Said on Facebook, and then She Said podcast on Instagram. Bye.